Justin Trudeau is bailing out one of the few businesses booming during the coronavirus pandemic. It's one of his favorite businesses. Can you guess it? Yes, friends. It's the legalized marijuana industry. At the beginning of 2020, it was predicted that this year would be a rough one for the legalized marijuana industry here in Canada. In December 2019, two major marijuana producers, AgMedica and Wayland, were both granted creditor protection. But then along came the Wuhan flu, and with it, an entire society crawled into their pajamas and went under house arrest. Shuttered into their houses with nothing to do but smoke dope, drink wine, watch Netflix, and eat junk food. And the result was a boom in the marijuana industry, especially since the legalized pot shops were declared essential services, like police and hospitals and journalists, I guess. Look at this from Bloomberg News. Cannabis sales in Canada spiked higher in March thanks to pantry stocking and supply concerns. Statistics Canada said $181 million worth of cannabis was sold in March, up 19.2% from the prior month. That 1 month gain was one of the biggest monthly jumps since recreational pot was legalized in October 2018. Sales increases were observed in every province and territory except for Prince Edward Island, which temporarily shut down pot stores that month. Quebec led the country with a 29% rise in pot sales from the prior month, while Ontario, Alberta, and British Columbia also posted double-digit percentage gains. So of all the industries struggling in Canada right now during the coronavirus pandemic, the weed man doesn't exactly need government help, right? But you know how close the old electric lettuce is to Justin Trudeau's heart, and so he just can't help but throw stacks of fat taxpayer cash at the marijuana industry anyway. Look at this from Blacklock's just today. Cabinet yesterday approved millions in pandemic relief to marijuana dealers. The Department of Health deferred payment of annual licensing fees, though cannabis stores showed the sharpest year-over-year sales increase of any class of retailer. The Department of Health, in a notice, amended its cannabis fees order, granting retailers a 6-month reprieve on payment of annual licensing fees. The charges are up to $23,000 or 2.3% of annual income for large retailers. Cannabis sales in May showed a year-over-year gain of 116% from 86 million to 186 million, according to Statistics Canada retail sales by industry data. By comparison, beer and liquor stores showed a 3% gain in sales. Now, for context, from just 2 weeks ago, look at this. Suncor is reporting an operating loss of $1.49 billion compared to an operating earnings of $1.25 billion in the second quarter of 2019. And that's just one oil company in the oil patch, being leveled by lack of pipelines and market access, thanks to the Liberals, and a lockdown that killed demand for oil and gas and aviation fuel. But here's old Justin Trudeau, busy helping his favorite industry that doesn't need it, the one that got him through his COVID hermit seclusion, his marital strife, and all those underpants and Xbox personal days at Rideau Cottage for the last 4 months, while thousands of men and women employed in Canada's ethical oil and gas sector may never have a job to go back to. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. While the local weed dealer might be doing well during the coronavirus pandemic, I don't think the same can be said for your rights and freedoms. Many municipalities are bringing in mandatory mask laws now after the worst of the pandemic seems to be over, but you just might be exempt. To find out if you are exempt, to get your mask exemption card, and to help cover the legal cost of producing these mask exemption cards, please go to maskexemption.ca.